welcome back, my Royal Rogues. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue, and so much happened this weekend that most probably I will be taking a few days, not only because the almost 8 hours of live streaming between the coronation and the concert, but all the details that have popped up. So I'm gonna be mentioning stuff as I stumble upon it on my timeline. Let's start with this news from Sky News. The king was pictured looking grumpy as he arrived early at Westminster Abbey for the coronation ceremony. And there is this video in which he allegedly is complaining about the time. And there's so many people trying to make the claim that he was upset that William and Catherine were running late. Well, official sources have confirmed that the king's coach arrived at Westminster Abbey 6 minutes early, so nobody was running late. I have come to realize that there's this movement that somehow wants to plant some kind of bad blood between William and Charles, and from what I've seen so far between them, that is absolute nonsense. This video is when William was paying homage to the king. An extremely heartfelt moment, and you could feel the intensity between them, an actual connection. The perfectionist in me would have preferred William to memorize his lines, but at the same time I realized how critical was this moment, so I guess William did not want to leave it to chance or rely too much on his memory, so he decided to read from the guy with the flashcards to one side. Even so, that eye contact between them was one of the highlights of the coronation. And I couldn't help but notice that King Charles' face throughout the whole coronation service was serious and solemn. But at that precise instant, he gave William a sweet gaze, looking at him almost tenderly. That is the body language signal that Charles trusts William 100%. And another moment that one of my favorite accounts on Twitter, Bart Jack, was requesting is the coronation of Queen Camilla. In the video, you can see that she was doing these tiny jumps right before the Archbishop put the crown on her head. Well, it's not wonder that everyone who actively participated here was nervous, making sure that everything went just perfect. And maybe Camilla did not want the Archbishop to stumble with her feet or her dress. Her face expression was also quite tense just before the crown was on her head. I don't think she was afraid of the weight of the crown. It is not light by any means, but at 1.3 pounds or around 600 grams, it was much lighter than Charles St. Edward's crown. I guess there must be some kind of protocol that you cannot touch the crown yourself. You cannot adjust it, so when she was adjusting her fringe, I think she was overly aware of not touching it. When you think about it, it's more of a balancing act, and thank goodness it went flawless. Another highlight of the coronation was the Princess of Wales. Remember that we had that discussion a few days ago that Catherine was not going to wear a tiara, that she was going to wear flowers instead? Well, I don't know about you, but this was the best of both worlds. This looked a lot like a laurel or olive wreath or crown, and it has a rich symbolism all the way from ancient Greece, when they were given to the winners of the Olympic Games. Maybe it's also a sweet nod to Prince Philip, who was born in Greece. But anyway, this is a symbol of triumph, of victory, and divine blessing and wisdom. Among the things I did not like that much was the balcony moment. I understand that it was nice to include the pages beside the king and queen, but in doing so, Charles and Camilla looked isolated. Just personal taste. I have no idea about royal protocol regarding this, but I would have preferred all the working royals in a tight group. Like the working royals are supporting the king and queen for real. This looked a bit diluted, but as usual, I would love to know your opinion in the comments. And well, the Montecito Morons embargo has finished and we can talk about them again. And who could have imagined that Dior was going to double down on Harry being their model? Tailoring fit for royalty, Dior is honored to have dressed Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, for the coronation of King Charles III in a costume designed by Kim Jones. Seen arriving at Westminster Abbey, gain an insight into the savoir-faire of his three-piece suit next. And in a close-up, we can confirm that Harry is living his best life. Good for him. That was his face expression before getting the red feather from Princess Anne. I don't have the means to know if this was on purpose. Which other explanation could we have for this? Props to the director of the event who drew the cameras in the same angle as Meghan's legendary candle. But from a different angle, we could catch this pair stare. It is undeniable that Harry had not the best feelings towards William at that moment. Harry's jaw was tense as well as his lips, and his neck was completely straight. Apprehension? Perhaps. Envy? Possibly. Recollection of dog balls? You bet. And speaking of angles, thanks to Melanie, we have this angle of Harry's bonds. In his book Spare, Mr. Markle wrote, I look at William, maybe for the first time since we were boys, and observe his alarming baldness. Looks like karma really is a biatch. And speaking of people who should not be named this weekend, but was named nonetheless, was the Duchess of Sausages. The New York Post. Royal fans convinced Meghan Markle snuck into Coronation in disguise. And I have to confess that I got a good chuckle from this. Nothing screams disguise like a wig, glasses, and a mustache. Some Twitter users are convinced that Meghan Markle showed up to Saturday's coronation of King Charles III in disguise, despite her staying in California with children Archie and Lilibet. Keen observers took particular notice of one standout guest among the crowd of 2,200 at Westminster Abbey, arguing that the attendee looked like he was covering up his identity. But it turns out the white-gray hair and mustache were not a disguise at all. The man pictured is Sir Carl Jenkins, a legendary composer whose work was played during the ceremony. He recently told the BBC he was honored to have part in the coronation. Well, something nice is that I'm sure that we are not going to forget his face anytime soon. And speaking of composing and playing music, I have to say that the coronation concert was one of the most exciting experiences I've had as a YouTuber like ever. I have my doubts about this because of the demanding setup, but in the end, it was a beautiful gathering of 25,000 royal rogues. To put it in perspective, there were more rogues online watching on my channel than people right there at the concert. Wasn't that amazing? The thing is that it was not unexpected that the BBC took down my live stream a mere minutes after it finished because, all the copyright stuff. I was a bit worried. I already had a partial takedown of my coronation stream the day before, and I did not want to risk a copyright strike here on YouTube. But the thing is that I thought that it was unfair, that so many people around the world would have wanted to see this live, and it's absurd that there were only two channels, one in the UK and one in the US, that were going to broadcast. I decided to do the right thing and risk a copyright strike and stream it anyway. The good news is that I did not get a copyright strike. My channel can keep its impeccable standing with the YouTube overlords. But the bad news is that this shouldn't have happened in the first place. It's the celebration of the coronation of the King of the United Kingdom. The royal family is a global brand thanks to Queen Elizabeth. And that makes so many people love British culture and helps tourism, which in turn helps the economy. Don't you find it stupid that in this day and age, having the opportunity to stream this event to a worldwide audience, they just accepted the limit in terms of the BBC in terms of broadcasting? That is giving the entire country a disservice. And I don't mean the Royal Rogue streaming the concert. I mean the BBC. If you have the rights to the concert, one of the conditions should be to broadcast it the same way that you did with the coronation. For many, this will be a once-in-a-lifetime event. Why be so cheap? Why accept the terms of an organization that doesn't care about the best interests of the British people? Just to get more money from ads? You can have those ads on YouTube as well. Even if what I did was risky, I have my conscience clean because I did the right thing. And sometimes doing the right thing happens to be illegal. I hope this serves as a message to the royal family. The mainstream media is dying a slow and painful death, and independent, underground, and underdog streamers are on the rise. We are not the future. We are already the present. But make no mistake, I for one will take care of my beautiful royal rogues. Remember to like this video and the two most important words, much love and bliss.